Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
Abin, yeah, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat with me, Kev Dillon, Aaron Dew and Craig Pinches. Now tonight's one is just a quick one, and it's about finding ourselves or how to be ourselves. Because a lot of times in life, we're defined by our jobs or being a boxer or a DJ or a property. And what we forget is we're so many different parts. I'm not just a father, I'm not just a boxing instructor, I'm not just a podcast, I'm not just a Jack the Lad. I'm so many different things. And all these things emerge into being me, Kevin Dillon. And I think a lot of times because we come from different backgrounds and we only associate being with that. So once we fell into that pocket, it's hard to get out of that pocket. So lads, over to you.
I think Aaron, can you got anything to say to kick it off?
Yeah, so obviously we spoke I think at the tail end of the last episode in relation to this, and I just thought it'd be a nice episode to speak about, especially if we want to try and link it to maybe happiness, fulfillment, and mental health as well, because being yourself sounds really, really easy, like how to be yourself, but I genuinely think it's probably one of the hardest things to actually do in this world, and that's because of a combination of things such as the expectations from your family, your doctors, your teachers, your peers, your siblings, and then also I think we all have a fear of how we're going to be judged if we were ourselves. So you get a lot of people who won't disclose, for example, their sexuality until a certain amount of time because of the fear of being discriminated against. So there's all these things that play into our mind in the society that we live in, that people are just afraid to actually be themselves. And I think this is one of the things that we try and do here. We try to do on Find Your Voice as well, is to really encourage people. Look, sometimes you have to sit with yourself. You have to recognize, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? I'm always fascinated by understanding why people do what they do, because I think 9 out of 10 people, if you sit with them and say, why are you doing this? It's probably not what they want to be doing. And it's a shame that they'll go through most of their life continuing with that as if, like that saying, like they're a tree. And I'm like, you're not a tree. You can move, you can get up and move, you can change, you can do different things. So yeah, I just thought it'd be an interesting topic of conversation for somebody, and maybe it might resonate with them.
But as you said, sometimes being yourself is so difficult because you're pushed into education from your family, or how many kids I've had up here at the Lions Boxing Club, and it's you don't want to be here, do you? And I don't. But my dad is determined, and he goes, "Oh, Kevin's dying to spar." And he goes, "I fucking hate Kev." and you're thinking, if my Jasmine wants to do anything, I would encourage her. If she comes first, second, last, as long as she's happy, because I want her to be her. I want her to be whatever she wants to be. It's my job as a parent to allow her to be. But I see so many people going, they will live their life through the child, and that child's there going, I don't want to fight, Daddy. I want to play Legos and I want to do whatever. I think being ourselves is so difficult because sometimes we cling on to what our peers think. I remember because I couldn't ride a bike and I still can't ride a bike because of my eyes. And my dad was taking me to horse riding lessons, and because the horse can see, and
I was just trying to work that one out.
my mate went, that's gay, and back in the 80s, I was thinking, well, I'm not having sex with a man, it's not gay, but back then it was, all right, then I won't do it. And even though I loved horses and I loved riding it, because of my friends saying, you're gay, and I went, all right, then I won't do it. And it's that easy to be put off things because of what your friends have said, what they might say, what your partner thinks, what they might say. So a lot of our lives, we are always thinking about what people will say, what people might say, instead of just thinking, you know what, I want to do this. I want to be with that person, whether it's whoever it is. I just want to be as happy as I can. And it's the influences of others that holds us back.
I think that's I remember being, when I was a kid, obviously must have been about 13, 14. I was taking guitar lessons at school when they had the tutoring to come and do them, and I was really into music. I used to sing rock and roll with my uncle, Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley, Shaking Stevens. I'd get up 6, 7 years of age and sing on stage these rock and roll songs. And I was taking all my lessons and that. And then I remember, I must have been about 12, 13, 14, and my friends took a piss out of me, thinks it's Elvis and all this, and I quit. I quit everything. My mum and dad bought me, and I've still got it. I think it was I was 15 and it was for Christmas, a red electric guitar. And at the time it was probably a couple £100 worth of guitar. And I thought, I was a bit disappointed, because obviously everyone's had this and this and the other, being a kid, and I thought, my friends are going to take the piss out of me. And now I'm 31 years of age, and I'm playing until my fingers are nigh on bleeding to practice this guitar. I've been on it all day today. And I think if I had to listen to my friends who are now doing what they were doing when we were 15, 16, you know, no aspirations, nothing about them that they wanted, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I think if I had to listen to them then and did what I wanted, because I remember saying in citizenship, you had to write down what you wanted to be, and people put hairdresser and they put boxer and they put this, and I wrote popular. And friends laughed at me.
How sad that is in itself,
you know,
isn't it?
popular. And everyone laughed at me. And I probably didn't even know what I meant then, but I'll tie it back to, hold on, I was into music. I was into entertaining. I was doing all my lessons and that. And maybe I wanted to be this without knowing I wanted to be. And then friends and your peers laughing at you, and you think, you know, I remember going out there once, I must have been about 15, 16, and I was in, I think it was jeans and some kind of jacket. And there was one mate who wore Cabrini, you know, we all wore Cabrini, hoodies and that. Who's made you wear that? And I stopped wearing it. You know, and I'll find I don't care what people think, but I do. And as a kid, we all do. You know, and that stems from being bullied in the past from primary school.
And it's what happened a lot of time is what happened to us with a childhood trauma. It doesn't necessarily be sexual abuse or physical abuse. It can be that then comments that are passed on to you by your peers or people, and it can scar you deeply, deeply scar you. And sometimes it's very hard to step away from it. So as much as it's just be yourself, Kev. Just be yourself. And you go, well, hang on. Last time I tried to be myself, I was teased, I was bullied, and I think it comes with a certain level of maturity. Now I'm married and I'm a daddy, and that's why we started doing this. But my first interview was Heart of England, which is on YouTube, and then my first interview was with Aaron, and I thought, how are people going to take me? I'm talking very openly about my eyes and my different problems and things I've been through. And I'm thinking, are people going to lose respect, and people are going to go back to bullying and teasing? I'm going to be fighting again and all these things. And then it's quite the opposite.
Do we have anything? Because obviously this will be a short episode, because you know we've got to get off in a bit, haven't we? Do we each have anything that we could say to help people discover themselves or create themselves or whatever? Is there any advice you'd give?
My only advice is strength comes with age. And I think in my particular circumstance, there's no point asking a 25-year-old Kev Dillon to talk about it, because I've gone, no, go bollocks, I'm not ready. But when you're ready, and it's why I want people, when you're ready, and if you'd like to, come on, share your story, but don't feel bullied into it. Because to find yourself is to do that, find yourself, and finding yourself will take many different paths through your life. Because what I was at 15, I was different at 20, 25, 30, and hopefully I'm a different man by 40, which ain't too far away. But every stage of my life, I want to be growing, and hopefully that will find the best path for me.
Yeah, I think with myself, similar to what Craig was saying, I think I do 90% of I don't care what people think. Genuinely, like even if it's even if I feel like it could ruin like my brand, for example, or my perception, I'll always stand up for what I believe in. I'm not that person who will necessarily stand on the fence. If I see something that I think is wrong, I'll call it out, even if that upsets people and stuff. So I will always do that. But then I can think of examples. For example, like I love music, I love like dancing and stuff, but I won't just get up and dance unless I'm absolutely pissed, because it's the fear of it being embarrassed and what will people. So then I'll worry what people think. And it's as weird as it is, I don't like heights, so I'm probably jumping out of a plane. But secondly, like one of my goals as a kid was, one, I wanted to be the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. It was just always a dream. And the other dream was to be an actor, like an action hero, like the Van Dammes of the world. And thinking about just being on a movie set now is probably one of the most daunting, scariest things in the world. Having to read lines in front of so many people and camera crews and stuff. So anyway, going back to my point, 90% of what I do, I truly believe I do that. But to get to that 90%, I used to be at probably 10%.
Yeah.
So I was the person that at the beginning of the show was saying, look, I'm reaching out to you because I was so afraid of everything and I was just adhering to what people were telling me. And it was only until I was just writing notes here when somebody told me, I'm not sure if it was on, it might have been even on a YouTube video, I can't remember the exact source, but it says, you're not that important. And when I actually digested that for a second, because remember, we think the world revolves around us.
Yeah.
That's our life. We're the most important thing in our lives. But when you realize actually you're not that important, for example, if I'm in a club and I'm dancing, I'm not that important that the whole world's looking at me. You know, I'm not 50 Cent that everyone's just going to be completely focused on me. I'm just a normal person. And the same with anything we do. And I think when I started to realize that, it almost took some shackles off me. So now when I do like a YouTube video and stuff, I'm like, the chances are people I know ain't never going to watch that anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to go out into the universe. If people don't like it, they'll probably click off straight away. So it gave me a sense of freedom that, well, I'm not that important, and maybe one or two people will find something in it and they'll stick around.
Yeah.
And that was really useful. So if you can kind of maybe use that as a sort of mantra and stuff, I think it'll help you and free you from some stuff.
I like the. I've never heard that one before, but I like the thinking. You know, you're important to yourself in the fact that you're going to do it for your own progress and growth, but you're not so important that everyone's going to be watching you.
There's 7 billion people in the world. Do you know what I mean? We are all as important as each other. I think that's what they were trying to say behind that message.
And even if you do something ridiculous and it is on YouTube, how long does it last for? A week? A day, you know.
And then
you might
on the next.
Yeah, and that's even if you're caught with your pants around your ankles doing something.
Again.
You know, again, yeah, more times than I'd like to mention.
I need to see your channel, mate.
You really don't.
There ain't much to say.
There ain't much to come on. Credit.
But no matter what's going on, it'll pass.
Yeah.
You know, whatever is going on, don't worry because tomorrow will come.
Yeah, I think as well, speaking from experience, what I said about the music and the guitar is, take a step back. You know, if you've got your friends that you believe are your true friends and telling you about, take a step back. And if you have to keep diluting your likes and what makes you happy, your hobbies, anything that makes you happy, whether it's, you know, stars, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whatever it is, if you have to keep diluting that so as people don't find that as a way to ridicule you, then that's probably not the clique that you're going to grow with, and you're never going to feel free and be yourself. And that comes with family and everything. If you feel that, hold on a minute, they have their hobbies and their interests and it's their strengths, yet they still encourage mine, then that should give you a sense of freedom, knowing that you've got the full support and you're not opening yourself and leaving yourself to ridicule. You know, that's my advice. If you feel that everything's diluted so as they don't ridicule you, you're probably with the wrong clique.
Just because you've had someone in your life for 30 years doesn't mean they've got to be in your life for another 30 years. If they're not bringing love, kindness and supportness to you, you know, wish them all the best, but don't necessarily stay around with them. So it's just a short one for today.
I've got a quote, if that's all right.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, saves you thinking on the spot. And it's actually in relation to this. So this was one of the quotes as well that, again, resonated with me. But it says, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment.
I like that. And before you end, can I say one as well?
Go for it.
Just kind of.
We're on a roll today, Kevin.
You're
normally trying to put them out on us. So we're like,
He's normally trying to put us on the spot. We've got the training in. And I believe it was on the documentary of Bob Dylan. And he said, life isn't about finding yourself. In fact, it's not about finding anything. It's about creating yourself. And I think that was a great Bob Dylan. So there you go, Kev. Now you can. What's yours, Kev? Let's put him on the spot.
Put me on the spot.
This is how we feel every
Enjoy life, because you only get one. Until we see each other next week, take care of yourselves and each other. Ta-ra a bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.